Hello and welcome to another edition of A Person Progress. Here I am in the Long Bin. There are many beasts to be found here. And you may hear in the background, here in South Shropshire, the most extraordinary of animals. A 2.25 diesel engine can be heard growling in the background. I think we needs must investigate. And so, approaching this wild creature slowly, we must be careful. There may be others around in the tribe. And there we see it in all its glory. A wonderful Land Rover 2A, Series 2A from 1965. Quite a magnificent beast. I think you'll agree. Sorry, Father John being rather silly, trying to be Richard Attenborough and failing miserably. Rather like the canvas top on this. If you remember yesterday, I said there was a rather marvellous Land Rover for sale. Well, I've gone and bought it. I have. It's in very good condition, and it has a galvanised chassis, because they always rot. I won't give you a full tour, because I've only just got the blessed thing back. But I think you'll agree, it is a magnificent beast. I rather like the way they've put these guards on all the lights. Wonderful old canvas. It's going to rattle around a bit, that's for sure. And there it is. Quite a clean cab. And I'm excited because I've always had a Land Rover in my life normally. Many of you will know I had to sell my last Land Rover because I was coming down here and it had failed its MOT and it was just all too difficult. But I've never had a Land Rover this old. This is old. 1965, not quite as old as me. But it was great. And I'm going to enjoy bimbling around the country tracks of South Shropshire in it. Speak to you in a bit. Oh, hello. Well, here we are. Another day in our Lord's creation. I'm sitting in front of my my latest acquisition. Some of you will recall yesterday me saying that a Landy had come up for sale. It's not been for sale 24 hours possibly. Most of that I was in bed. I registered a kind of interest in it with the owners, who live off near Clun. Which is in that direction, about 40 minutes. There was some roadblock, so it made it a bit longer journey. Probably should only be about 25 minutes. Anyway, and they said, can you come and see it tonight? I said no. And that was Jim the blacksmith just gone past. The farrier, I should say. He's not a blacksmith. And always peeps when he goes past. The sort of area it is, you see. Old England. It doesn't really exist anymore in many places. Anyway, cut a long story short. Yeah, so I messaged her. They said, oh, can you come and meet me in a car park? I thought, car park? The car park in Clun. I thought, that sounds dodgy. And I'd already made a video. And as you know, I was having a nice little drink on the video. And this was prior to that message.
And I thought, well, I don't really want to be driving after having a drink, even though I didn't have that, whatever it was. Well, this is a port or something, I don't know. Can't remember what it was, an IPA. I could have still driven, probably. Anyway, I couldn't be bothered. And you'll remember me talking on the video yesterday about Edward the Sage, the Quaker, about an antique shop. And he always said, if it's for you, it's for you. And you'll get it. If it's not for you, it's not for you. And so I was minded about that last night. I thought, well, if the Land Rover is for me, it's for me. If it's not, it's not. I don't care. You know, I care very little about anything these days. And so anyway, I just went to bed on it. Slept lovely. Listened to my Shardlake novel in bed. I like my Shardlakes. I like listening to books in bed, although I only listen to so much, and of course I fall asleep, and I have to backtrack the following night. I'm on the perfection again. Can't get enough of it. I blame Richard Vogt. Anyway, yeah, I went to bed on it. Slept like a baby. Couldn't care less. I went to sleep knowing that I'd have to wake up and make some sort of decisions. I think I left it with the sellers that, oh, I might come and look at it tomorrow. And they said, oh, it's got to be before 1 o'clock, we're busy. And I thought, blimey, you don't want much. But I mean, they probably were busy, in their defence. So I thought, go, all right, you know. So I messaged them this morning and said I'd be with you by such and such a time, and they said, well, could you make it so time? It was about half an hour earlier, and I said, yeah, I'll try. So it's a bit of a drive. It's not that much of a drive, but it's still a bit of a drive, and that's what happened. But of course the lovely thing was I still spilled out of bed onto my veranda and got my meditation in, and I did my morning routines, which you know I'm fond of. And I thought, well, I'm not going to sacrifice my times of prayer, even for a Land Rover. So, you know, priorities, chaps. So I got my priorities right, and I'm a great believer in Kismet, I'm a great believer in fate, I'm a great believer in the plan of God, I'm a great believer in karma. I don't care what words you use. It all amounts to the same thing. Providence is another thing, isn't it? We talk about things being providential. I'm locked and loaded. Anyway, so that was that. Have you seen my lovely coffee table? The bumper. Do you like the bumper? Sometimes they they blur out these, don't they? I mean, I don't care what they're going to do. What's the worst that can happen? Steal my car's credentials. And anyway, where was I? So yeah, I did my prayers, I did everything, I agreed to meet them. I found my way over to the other side of Clun, and it's remarkable. I mean, it was just literally all tracks like the one above me. It was just bumpy, single lane, potholes everywhere. It was a bumpy old ride all the way there. And anyway, I got there, and I met this nice fella and his chap he lives with, I think, or his business partner, I don't know. Anyway, they breed horses, nice pair of chaps, and I met the horses. And one was 18 hands. Can you imagine it? I used to hunt on a hunter, which was a cavalry remount in the days when I used to go hunting. And that was 17.2. This bugger was 18. And I mean, 17.2 is high enough. If you're going to fall off when you're going over those stone walls, as I used to in the old days. Anyway, so it was nice meeting the horses, and it was nice meeting both of them. And we managed to strike up a deal. And it wasn't far off. It was practically the same as what I got for my old landy. Listen to that bird of me. And so really it was like swapping like for like. Only this one's a lot older. This one is 1965. Is it 65? Yeah, 65. 60 years old. I'm older than this car, but not by much, eh? I am older than the car. But even so, I mean, 60-year-old car. Magnificent. And basically, it's like I swapped out the old Landy that was up in Yorkshire. I've done videos on that one. You know, and now I've got this one. And I think this one's better. For one thing, it is it's a Series 2A Land Rover, and it's the shorter wheelbase, but it's even shorter than a Defender. This is the 88. Now, it would have been a 2.25 engine, but I think they've put a 2.5 diesel engine in at some point, which gives it more horsepower, so it's a bit zippy. It's very agricultural, very noisy, very rattly. But the good thing is, I think those front windows can fold down, and the top can come off, and you're in a coupe. I'll be driving around in my convertible around the little tracks around the mountains. So it's rather fun, and the tailgate drops back, which I thought would make a rather nice desk. If I can get a chair underneath it, you see, I can write on it. In the caravans, you don't get desks, and I haven't got a shepherd's hut down here yet where I can put a desk, and the house isn't done up. But often I feel I need to be writing. I need to be writing at a desk. And it's not the same trying to write with a fountain pen on your lap in a caravan. So I'm going to experiment with the tailgate on the back of this. I won't bother showing you it. But anyway, it drops down. It's got chains, I think, and just drops back. But so that would function as a desk. And it means I can get my Mont Blanc Meisterstück 149 out, my fountain pen, and start. It's great, this little coffee table, isn't it? Wine table. Got some port, and I deserve it today. Yeah, so I thought I might try that, because I would like to write some handwritten letters. I've been in grateful receipt of a couple, and I won't embarrass the individual by mentioning his name, but he'll know who he is. And it's difficult to respond in my circumstances, because, you know, there's nowhere to post anything, even if I had a stamp. And or any surface to write on, even. But I'm going to try and sort it all out, and by the time I've done all that, I'll probably respond to one of those letters in the manner in which it was sent. And it reminds me, really, the letter of a bygone age. There is something very personal, isn't there, about a handwritten letter? I mean, you connect with the individual, really. It's like people who connect signatures, don't they? Autographs. In some way you're connected to them. They've given something of themselves when they've written their name in their own hand. So it's a nice way to correspond. And I think the point was that we ought to do a lot more of it. So this person is absolutely correct. We should be doing a lot more of it. And we do it all on WhatsApp now, don't we? On Facebook. Various means of communicating instantly, etc. But that's the way we used to. I can remember when I was in the Gulf War. By the way, I used to celebrate Mass on the back of one of these things in the Gulf War. That same tailgate that I want to deploy as a desk, I used to use as an altar. I used to celebrate the Holy Sacrifice on the back of a Land Rover. Anyway, I digress. What was I talking about? Can't remember now. Oh yes, writing letters. Even in the Gulf War, when you wanted to communicate, and I was in the first Gulf War, in the last cavalry battle run ever, mechanised though, we used to get these things called blueies. If people wanted to communicate with you, they wrote on a bluey, and I think it was sent for free through the, I don't know, the military post. And we'd get them in the desert, you know. One of the soldiers would come with a big sack, and this is for you, Padre, this is for you, so-and-so, this is for you, oh, another one for you. And so go, and you get these blueies, and they were all handwritten. And if you wanted to respond to them, you had to do that in reverse, and it had to go all the way from the desert and find its way back into Europe. Can you imagine that now? Every squaddy now probably has a mobile phone. Don't need all of that. And that's in my lifetime, and that's not that long ago. So things have changed. But there were some things about the old ways that were good. What I love about this Land Rover being so old, it is totally historic. You don't pay motor tax, you know, to the whoever they are. Is it DVLA? They're MOT exempt. I haven't insured it yet, but I'm hoping that'll be cheap. Who knows? Find out. But it's old school. I like the fact I'll be able to work on this. There isn't a thing on this that I won't be able to mechanic myself. And there's got to be something said for that. There's not a single electronic thing on there to go wrong. Nothing at all. As long as you've got the battery working and you've got some oil in it and your levels are topped up for your clutch and what have you, it's always going to start. It's always going to go. And so I like that old school charm. In fact, I like most things about the old days. A gentler time, possibly. A quieter, slower pace. Life is frenetic now, isn't it? I need to calm down. I'm as high as the kite, because I haven't stopped, literally. That's probably the first time I sat down today. Apart from my meditation. But I'm looking at my cottage. It looks absolutely gorgeous. The Land Rover looks marvellous on the land. It pairs with the cottage beautifully, my old cottage, and the landscape. I mean, we could be in the 40s, the 50s, couldn't we? Even my pipe is 175 years old. My Talon Claw meerschaum. I'm probably the oldest thing sat here. Well, apart from the house. So, anyway, I hope you enjoyed looking at my Land Rover. It wasn't vastly expensive. I got it for a fraction of what they can go for. I'm very lucky. Sometimes with these sort of things you've got to strike while the iron's hot. And some things are meant to be, aren't they? And some things are not meant to be. But I do remember this. That's my only spiritual lesson today, that I woke up today, as I do most of the time now, with a profound sense of peace, and that what will be, will be. And that if it's this result, I don't care. If it's the other result, I don't care. Because I'm not grasping after anything. I'm not envying anything. I'm not jealous over anything. I don't cleave to anything. I don't desire anything other than the fact that I know it will be useful or know to be beautiful. And that way you avoid disappointment. If this had gone to somebody else, I wouldn't have been disappointed. I would have thought, oh, there we go, wasn't meant for me. There'll be another one out there somewhere. And that's a better way to live. Don't envy, don't be jealous, don't desire, don't cleave to things, don't identify yourself with the acquisition of goods, or fame, or career, or status, or money, or class. There's all sorts of things we can identify with, aren't there? And they just make you miserable in the end of the day. And then you die. Oh, the other thing I wanted to mention before I finish today is I've reached that wonderful 2,000 subs. Thank you very much, guys and guy-esses. Jet noise, the sound of freedom. And as I promised, I'm going to get rid of my... I've got two of these. He came over last time, didn't he? I think he just does this on purpose. Great little gadget. Not worth the earth. But I'm going to send it free to somebody. Probably best it goes to a pipe smoker, but you know, in because it's all about equality these days, anybody can try and obtain it and give it to a pipe smoker, maybe. Come on, Jet, you can do better than that. Move on. So if you'd like to leave something in the comments, I don't know what can we, I don't know what to ask really. Well, the pipe smokers, if you were just to put in something like, what is your favourite tobacco and why? And anything else you can add, like a funny story, that might be something. And if you're not a pipe smoker, but you want to give it to a pipe smoker, you could maybe put something about what you find is the most beneficial time to meditate, why you meditate, and what difference it's made to your life. How about that for 2 questions? One for pipe smokers and one for those who are, err towards the spiritual side. Another one going over, catching up with his chum. I wonder where they're going. There used to be a fast jet RAF station in Wales. Maybe they're going there. I hope it's not too loud in where you're sitting. So yes, if you just drop something in the comments, I'll have a rifle through them in the next 24 hours or so, and I'll pluck one out which I like the sound of, and then I'll get in touch, and if you give me your address, I'll just send it off to you. I say, not worth a great deal, but like all these things, like handwritten, it's been touched by myself and by many other people. It's vintage, antique, and it's nice to think it'll be used. Nice to see a video of it being used, even. So that's about me for today. I mean, you're bored of hearing me witter on. I'm sat in my Land Rover chair, by the way. Did I tell you about those? I found it eventually. It was underneath the caravan. I've got 3 of them. 2 are in the back of the container, but this one was always here. They're fabulous. We had these in the Gulf War. Well, every military man will know what a Land Rover chair is like. And they fold up, and they're old-fashioned canvas. And you've got your armrests here. Remarkable, and they're as rare as hen's teeth. And if you can find one at all for sale anywhere, I love them. And I remember going to what they used to call an O group in the desert. An O group is where you sort of get to, all the officers sort of got together with the commanding officer, and they would tell you just to have a briefing really. And I remember once, I was a captain at the time, and the adjutant came in, and I was sat on one of these waiting for the O group, and he went, "Padre, sand." I had to get out of it and sit on the floor, and a major sat on it in my place. "Padre, sand." So there I was, cross-legged on the learning my place in life. Well, that's my story of Land Rover chairs. Great things if you can get one. Certainly recommend them, especially if you like old school, because that's what really today's video has been all about. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. I've spoken long enough. I'm enjoying this port. I'm loving this pipe. I'm loving perfection. Somebody mentioned I was gurgling it or drawing in air yesterday while I smoked. It's true, I was. I didn't realise it at the time until I watched the video back. But I don't think I am today. You say you need to pack your pipe a bit better. You know, there's too much air underneath it. But you know, smoking a pipe is like life. You make mistakes. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's a process, it's a journey. And with that thought, my lovely friends, I'm going to leave you today. I hope you're well tonight, and today, if it's in or morning or afternoon, wherever you are. Don't forget to have a puff on your pipe, you pipers. I like having the pipers on board. I'm going to enjoy the rest of my evening, probably sat in front of my Land Rover, just enjoying the sunset. And with that thought, I will leave you. God bless, and hopefully, God willing, see you tomorrow.